What I want to ask you first is, are you living your life truly valuing the act of breathing? Humans breathe approximately 20,000 times a day, but how many of us are conscious of each one of those breaths? We inhale unconsciously and we exhale unconsciously. It is certainly a natural human activity, but it is conscious breathing that is the first step to changing your life. This is because breathing is directly connected to your mind, your body, and your spirit. In other words, breathing is not just a physiological phenomenon, it is a way of life itself. When a person becomes weak, it is usually when their chi is drained. When you feel unmotivated, have no energy, or your drive doesn't last, you have likely experienced that state before. So where does that chi come from? I'll say it clearly. It is born from breathing. When your breath is shallow, your voice becomes small, your posture hunches, and the light in your eyes dims, and your mind is becoming more and more negative. But try to inhale a big breath from the pit of your stomach. Puff out your chest, straighten your back, and exhale deeply. Just doing that will cause chi to naturally well up from within you. When I was young, I was stricken with a serious illness. I collapsed with tuberculosis and wandered on the brink of death. At that time, I knew that if I just lay there, my life would be whittled away. My breath was shallow and I struggled to breathe, and my body and mind collapsed. But one day I realized something. I couldn't just let it end like this. I had to regain my breath. From that day on, I became completely devoted to my own breathing. I would inhale deeply and exhale slowly. I would circulate chi throughout my body with diaphragmatic breathing, and that is how I overcame my illness. It was not a miracle. It was the accumulation of practice. It was the power of breathing. When you are troubled or feeling down, your breathing is almost certainly disturbed. Your breath becomes shallow, and you might even hold it. This is because the mind and breath are connected. And here is the crucial part. Breathing can be changed by your will. It is difficult to change the mind, but breathing can be changed right now, in this very moment. That is where the greatness of breathing lies. I say it with certainty. Regulate your breathing. Just by doing that, your mind will become calm and your view of life will change. Live actively. I have said these words many times, but that activeness is not born from willpower or grit alone. The state of your body supports your mind. In other words, if your breathing is shallow, your mind will also become weak. Conversely, if your breathing is well regulated, you can face any difficulty. That is the essence of mind-body unification. When you feel down, puff out your chest. When you feel anxious, exhale slowly. By doing so, the innate strength within you will awaken once more. What the mind-body unification method brings is not just a temporary boost in mood or concentration. It is a technique to regain the unshakable self that humans are born with. When your breathing is regulated, your posture is correct, and your consciousness is focused on the now, your mind becomes quiet, and you are no longer swayed by your emotions. And that state of mind means you will not be influenced by your surroundings. Regardless of what anyone says or what events happen, a person who can maintain their own center is born. The unified person I speak of is not a superhuman who has undergone some special training. It is someone who, in their daily life, maintains a quiet breath, a proper posture, and has cultivated an unshakable heart. The mind-body unification method, in short, is a way of life that unifies the three elements of breath, body, and mind. It is not a weapon to overcome hardship. It is a philosophy for cultivating a person who will not be swayed even by hardship itself. Without this unification, a person remains a being tossed around by human emotions. Conversely, with this unification, a person gains the power to choose, lead, and overcome their life from within. This path, which begins with breathing, is the most accessible and most certain technique for self-transformation. You too should regulate your breathing, straighten your back, and stand quietly. No matter what happens, an unshakable version of yourself will appear. Have you ever used words like, I can't, it's impossible, or it's no use? Those words also hinder your breathing. Words and breath are connected. Negative words only lead to shallow breaths, and those shallow breaths make you even weaker. As I have said many times, it is positive language that supports the mind and body. I can do it. It's going to be okay. Let's give it a try. First, try saying those words along with your breath. At that moment, your breath will change, and you yourself will begin to change. Humans are creatures of emotion. Anger, sadness, anxiety, impatience. Everyone has these feelings. But you must not be controlled by them. If you are conscious of your breathing, your emotions will settle down. For example, when you get angry, try inhaling for 3 seconds and exhaling for 7 seconds. Just that will calm the flames of anger. Breathing is the horse master of the horse called emotion. The Japanese words for breath, iki, and to live, ikiru, come from the same root. In other words, to disturb your breath is to disturb your life. If you truly want to live, you must first begin with your breathing. Before you think about a troubling future, before you rack your brain over difficult human relationships, you must regulate your breath. That is the conclusion I have reached. I recommend the morning breathing method. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do, while still in bed, is take a deep breath. 5 times is enough. Inhale slowly and exhale from the pit of your stomach. At that time, no unnecessary thoughts are needed. It is enough just to feel that you are alive right now. The accumulation of these few minutes will return the rudder of your life to your hands. You don't need expensive equipment or complicated theories. There is something you can do right now. That is to be conscious of your breathing. For example, when you feel stressed at work or when you're about to clash with someone, you can simply calm down and regulate your breathing. Just that will change your reaction. Your words will change. Your attitude will change. And eventually your reputation, your relationships, everything will change. Finally, please remember this one thing. The one who controls their breath controls their mind, controls their body, and controls their life. Breathing is the key to your life. If your breath is shallow, your mind will be disturbed. If your breath is regulated, your mind will be calm. Just that one thing can change your destiny by 180 degrees. From this moment, inhale deeply and exhale slowly. Don't speak words of weakness. Regulate your breath. Life is in that breath, and you have not yet used that life to its full potential. So right now, correct your breath, rebuild your mind, and begin your life. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember, the path to a powerful life isn't found in a distant destination, but in a single conscious breath. The change you seek is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting to be unleashed. If this talk inspired you, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel for more powerful insights. And in the comments below, share one thought you will be more conscious of in your breathing today.